One of my favorite features of the new Fractal VP4 that is missing from a lot of other high-end digital pedals and digital pedals in general is digital audio inputs and outputs. The VP4 has an SPDIF input and output, which makes it perfect to pair up with something like the Fractal FM3. So you can use the VP4 essentially as an effects expansion on here with a single SPDIF cable. The advantage of this is because you're sending digital audio from one unit to the other, you're not incurring any extra latency. So you can basically add 4 effects blocks and switch scenes in tandem via MIDI with these 2 units. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. To make the digital connections, you will need an RCA style SPDIF cable. You can use the connectors that you'd connect your old VCR with, but they are often prone to noise. I'd recommend spending a little bit more and just getting a dedicated SPDIF cable. I bought this one off Amazon. It was pretty cheap and it's been working well so far. So we're going to take the SPDIF output of the FM3 and simply plug it into the SPDIF input of the VP4. Next, we need to do a little bit of setup on each of the units. On the FM3, go to Setup, navigate to I/O, and we're going to check that the SPDIF output source is set to output 1. This will pipe stereo digital audio down to the VP4. We've just got to set the VP4 up to accept it. We're going to hit the enter and exit buttons together. This is going to take us to the setup menu, navigate to input source, and we're going to set this to SPDIF. So the FM3 is sending its digital signal out to the VP4. The VP4 is accepting that digital signal. Then I'm coming out of the VP4 in stereo to my audio interface. Once I've done that, I can use the 2 units in conjunction with one another. I'm going to give you a few quick examples of why FM3 users might want to try this combination, namely being able to run high quality reverbs in any preset at all times. In fact, you can run 2 high quality reverbs if you like. You've also got access to the new spring reverbs in there. So we'll hear a little bit of the Stratocumulus reverb on here. We'll hear the lush spring type. And then another combination that a lot of people like is the ability to run the virtual capo before the amp with, say, some stereo pitch detune after the amp. So I'll let you hear that. The virtual capo on the FM3 and some stereo pitch detune on the VP4. I can further integrate this with MIDI. If I've got a MIDI to TRS cable, I can take the MIDI out of the FM3 and connect it to the MIDI in of the VP4. Once I've done that, I can use a scene MIDI block on the FM3. I'm sending CC number 1, and I'm going to send values 0, 1, 2, or 3 to select the 4 scenes on the VP4. I go back to the setup menu on the VP4 and I navigate over to the MIDI setup. You can see I've selected scene select to listen to MIDI CC number 1. Once I've done that, I can change scenes on my FM3 and have it change scenes on the VP4. So I've set up 4 scenes on this preset. Let's go through them. And you have to admit, it is pretty cool when you're sitting there switching through the scenes on the FM3 and you can see the scenes on the VP4 changing as well. You could flip this situation around and use the VP4 and the FM9 together. Again, the FM9 can support a single multi-tap delay block, a single plex delay block, and a single pitch block in there. So you could run the VP4 beforehand and use the SPDIF output of the VP4 to the SPDIF input on the FM9, run your virtual capo and any multi-tap delay chorus style effects before a stereo pair of amps, and then use the FM9 for the pitch detune and any extra multi-tap delays after the amps and cabs on there. That's just one idea, but there is absolutely no limit with this kind of setup. Let me know how you plan on using the VP4 in your rig in the comments section below. Furthermore, do not hesitate to reach out with any further questions or any requests for future tutorial videos. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, there are links to the music that I make with my band Fractal and my Patreon in the video description below. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.